7. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is a video of a dietary consultation done on the 20th, 19 of the 12th, 2021. Here I'm with Jacinta, who is going to be starting with me soon, and we're just going to go through some dietary, basically some dietary guidelines and just general advice that I can give as a personal trainer. So firstly, I need my paper. Okay, so yeah, basically, I'm not a qualified dietitian. I'm a personal trainer, so I can't give you specific dietary advice if you have any issues like with your diet or anything like that that you need to look after. So, but what I can do is give you some basic advice. So, main thing is that what we want to be focusing on is just following the Australian dietary guidelines. So, that's just some basic stuff which we'll go through later. Balance, so making some sustainable changes in your diet. So that could go from anywhere from like swapping fizzy drink out for water, for example, or eating most of your carbs in the morning versus eating them late at night, because carbs is the energy source and you want to use that for your energy, like you want to use that for your day, right, for when you do stuff. At night you're going to sleep, so you want to be eating stuff like protein, right, because that's used for rebuilding, so recovery. So just swapping out the ordering of things can make a decent difference. And the last thing you should probably work on is just habits. So every time you get a craving, try to replace it with a healthy snack. So instead of eating ice cream, have some mango. It's still sugar, but it's still calories, but it's healthier. It's got some vitamins, it adds some stuff to your diet.
Got
Fiber, stuff like that, exactly. So just small changes like that, those 1% changes really do add up over time. So yeah, so basically the first thing you need to realize when it comes to losing weight is that the main thing that's really important is your diet. That's kind of obvious, but people overlook their diet. They think if they just work out a lot, they can lose their weight, but they still eat a lot of junk food and they don't seem to make any progress. So make sure you get your diet in check. Second thing is just be more active. You don't have to work out at the gym for 3 hours a day to lose weight. All you have to do really is do a workout, say like 1 hour, then maybe do like a 30-minute walk in the morning, 30-minute walk in the evening. And if you're moving around and using your brain throughout the day, you're going to be burning a lot of calories just doing that. So the last thing, sorry, not the last thing, if you're trying to lose weight, basically you want to eat underneath your maintenance calories. So everyone has this maintenance, right? This level of calories that that our body requires to do stuff, right? So if you eat lower than this, say about 300 calories lower, then your body's gonna need to get that energy from somewhere. So it ends up getting it from your fat that you stored in your body. If you're trying to build muscle, your body that's not its first priority, right? Building muscle is not something that we do it's not natural, basically. So you gotta really challenge yourself. You gotta push yourself in the gym, but also you gotta make sure you're eating a decent amount more. So usually around 300 to 500 more calories, and make sure you're getting that protein intake. But yeah, so it really depends on your goal, but the main thing is if you're trying to gain, you wanna eat more. If you're trying to lose, you want to eat less than your maintenance, right? And that's basically it for that one. And so we're gonna just go through a dietary questionnaire, and we're just gonna go through some dietary information. So that's what you would read out. So let me just get your name again.
Jacinta.
Today's date. And so your goal?
Lose 7 kg in 2 months.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so that's around just underneath a kilo per week. So if you eat, say, around 300, 400 calories underneath your maintenance, that should equal to around that over the time period of 2 months. And do you have any special dietary requirements?
Previously been told I have a high cholesterol. So,
Okay. Okay, so high cholesterol, so that usually relates to high fatty foods. So we probably want to just try to reduce the amount of fat intake we have and maybe replace that for protein or carbs. So we'll look at the balancing of your diet later, like the amount of, I don't even know if I can do that. So, but we'll just go through some basic, we'll just basically, this is the Australian dietary guidelines we're gonna follow through. So how many vegetables do you eat a day usually?
About 2 to 3 serves per day.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know if it's better if you just read off this. You could just read off these dot points.
Yeah, don't enough. Yeah.
You don't eat enough, so you reckon like 2, 3, yeah?
2 or 3, yeah.
Okay. How many serves of fruit do you usually eat per day?
High in fruit serves, including dried fruit as snacks.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so what do you reckon? So high would be around 4 to 5 serves?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, yeah. How many serves of bread do you usually eat? Or like say just carbohydrates?
I have milk with my cereal, so cereals.
You eat?
Yeah,
Just say this.
about 4 or 5 serves.
Okay, so
per
that
day.
seems reasonable. That seems reasonable. And how much dairy do you consume each day?
Pretty much 4 to 5 serves a day.
Okay,
And
yeah.
that's high.
It's pretty high. And how many serves of meat do you eat per day?
About 4 or 5, very high.
Okay, yeah. And discretionary choices, so like snacks.
Yeah,
maybe if it's-
dried fruit, cheese, and crackers.
Okay. So how many times per day do you do that?
About 3 times snacks.
Okay, so per week it adds up to about maybe over 10 per week. Okay. And I will click yes to referral. Since you got that high cholesterol, it would be good to have a health professional just to make sure that your cholesterol levels are actually going down after we make some small changes. So yeah, so I reckon just following the Australian dietary guidelines. So the main thing with the dietary guidelines is that we want to be eating around 5 to 6 serves of vegetables per day. So 1 serve is around half a cup of cooked greens or 1 cup of leafy greens uncooked. So we want to increase your serves about 2 to 3 more. Next is that we want to lower the amount of, so fruit is good for you, but it's still sugar. So you want to lower the amount of sugar you're eating and replace that with some like healthier carbs. So we're just going to reduce that, or replace it with like healthier food in general. But yeah, we're going to reduce your amount of fruit to about maybe 2 to 3 less, because the guidelines suggest that we only eat around 2 serves per day, which is around like 1 medium banana or apple, which that's 1 serving, 1 medium banana or apple. Next is the main thing I think that we need to look at, which is your dairy and meat intake. So with those two, because your cholesterol level is kind of high, we want to make sure that we're not eating too much fat, and most of your fat would probably be coming from the dairy and the meat. So the first thing you could probably do is swap out the meat stuff that you eat with leaner meat, like kangaroo meat or chicken breast, something like that. Also reduce it to about 2 to 3 serves a day. So maybe 2 to 3 serves less than what you normally eat. Yeah. And similar with dairy, we want to reduce your dairy by 2 to 3 serves. Okay. So it's down to about 2.5 serves of dairy, which is like 1 cup of milk. That's 1 serve, 1 cup of milk, or half a cup of cheese. Yep. And the last thing that is very overlooked is the amount of water you drink. So we're gonna make sure that we're drinking at least 2 liters a day, and even more if you're gonna be active. So if you're moving around a lot, make sure you're drinking maybe up to 3 liters even. So yeah, so if we just make those small changes, I'm sure we're gonna see some changes in your health and how you're feeling and your cholesterol level. But yeah. So next, Yeah. So the other guidelines that I want to go through, so basically are some basic stuff. So so the main guideline is, oh yes, second point. We want to be making sure that we're getting healthier food choices. So we want to just pick better options, basically, right? So instead of having, like I said, fizzy drink for your drink, just have water. Or like, instead of having some, I don't know, cheese and crackers, maybe have something like fruit bread, something like that. I mean, they're both similar, but like, it's kind of like just basically choosing healthier options. The next guideline is that you want to limit your saturated fat, your salt. So added saturated fat, added salt, added sugar, and added alcohol. So we just want to reduce those things. And the fourth guideline is that we want to promote breastfeeding. So, I mean, not for you, but like just in general. The fifth guideline is that we want to store food safely. So making sure that it's sealed properly and stored in the fridge. So that, So what's your so what would you say your current activity levels are at?
Currently I go to the gym, do some cardio based work for 30 minutes on 4 nights of the week.
Okay. What would you say, how much experience do you have with the gym at the moment?
I don't have much experience with resistance training.
Okay. What about what do you do normally throughout the day? Like, what's your activity level?
I'm a single mother with a teenage son, works part-time as a nurse.
Okay, so you're pretty active, usually moving around.
Well, yes, no, yes.
Kinda. I mean, half of the time. Well, okay, that sounds like you're moderately active. So yeah, like I was saying before, basically that the main thing when it comes to losing weight is being more active, as well as your diet and as well as like stuff like that. Because if you're just more active throughout the day, you're going to increase your metabolism because you're moving around, you're using your energy. But yeah, as long as we're sticking to the guidelines and we're focusing on the simple things, like, you know, basically eating healthier, focusing on your habits, so choosing healthier options. Try to reduce the number of discretionary choices that you have. So from instead of snacking 3 times a day, try to have a like more healthy snack. So like, even if you instead of having like say cheese and crackers, have like an oat bar instead, something like that. Even though it's not super sweet, you're increasing your fiber, you're getting some health stuff. And the main thing is eating. If you want to lose weight, you got to eat underneath your maintenance. So it's calories in versus calories out. It's pretty simple. It's like, if you eat too much, the energy has to go somewhere, right? It's gonna go. So that's really it. So yeah, as long as you increase your vegetables by 2 to 3 servings, reduce your fruit and dairy and meat by 2 to 3 servings, and just replace some unhealthy options, or maybe even replace your dairy, so your yogurt, your milk, replace that with like low-fat milk, low-fat yogurt. Then you will make these small changes will add up, and then you can end up feeling pretty healthy afterwards.
Also low sugar.
Also, yeah, you want to reduce the amount of sugar you have. Yes.
So you just build into fat.
Yeah, exactly. So instead of doing fizzy drink, because that's a lot of sugar. Like 1 cup of fizzy drink is like almost 50 grams of sugar. You know, that's a lot. That's like how many calories? That's like 200 calories in just 1 cup. That's like a whole bowl of oats you could have instead. That would fill you up more. Or you could have like a big bowl of salad, which that would fill you up way more than 1 cup of fizzy drink, right? So, yeah. So basically, I'm gonna refer you to a GP, and just to keep track. And if your cholesterol levels are dangerous, then they will refer you to, like you said, to a dietitian or someone to get extra advice. But yeah, if you just stick to these basic principles, you should see some progress. So yeah, thank you.
You need to sign anything?
Oh yeah, sign. No, you don't have to sign anything.
That's you.
This is me.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Just gonna write it down. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All done.
All done.